Hey guys, Britt Merrick here with Channel Island Surfboards and Malcolm Campbell of Campbell Brothers and Bonzer 5 fame. And we're here to talk about the Biscuit Bonzer. As you may have heard, Channel Islands and the Campbell Brothers are collaborating together on a few boards this year. And we're really excited to do that. We have a long shared history together. Both companies starting in the early 70s. The Campbell Brothers down in Oxnard, Channel Islands up in Santa Barbara, and some shared territory there. A little bit of overlap at Rincon and stuff. And Malcolm shaped with my dad for
over 20 years.
Over 20 years. So when I was growing up in the factory, Malcolm was always there shaping, and that was cool to be around those guys when they're working on boards and stuff. And so now we're working on boards together, and we've released the Shelter, which is Malcolm's high-performance shortboard model that we're doing together with Channel Islands. And we're also doing this, the Biscuit Bonzer. So we're excited about this project together as well. The Biscuit has a long history for Channel Islands. It actually has funny origins. About 10 years ago, we had a board that we were working on with Rob Machado that was a single fin. And what happened was we ordered some 6-1s, and KKL, who were cutting the boards at the time, cut them a foot short. So they came to the factory as 5-1s. And they were sitting outside my dad's room, and we just weren't going to do anything with them. And then Tom Curran came to the factory one day, and he saw those 5-1s. He said, "What is that? I want one of those." So my dad shaped one for Tom, and that was the beginning of the Biscuit. Put 3 fins on it at the time, and then my dad started making them for Rob Machado, and it's been a really successful model for us. Just one of those boards that paddles easily, gets tons of speed, flows rail to rail, fast down the line. And when Malcolm and I started talking a few months back about the collaboration, we had the idea that the Bonzer would work well on the Biscuit. And we actually had a lot of customers that were already ordering Bonzer 5 setups on their Biscuits. So it seemed to make sense to us. So Malcolm, maybe you could just give us a little bit of Bonzer theory. What's the theory behind a Bonzer? Tell us that, and then tell us why it works well on a board like this.
Well, originally when we first designed the Bonzer, boards were very, very short. They were under 6 foot, and back during the shortboard revolution, you know, a lot of 5/6s, really wide tails, but boards were single fins or some twin fins. And what we wanted to do was design, have a short board, but that had control and speed. So that's how we originally came up with the 3-fin Bonzer. So it's always been a great system with wide tail, very short boards, because it gives them a lot of drive and speed out of the turns and continuation through speed through the cutbacks and so forth. So when we were originally talking about the collaboration, we were sitting and Britt actually said, the Biscuit, Bonzer Biscuit, and I said, well, you know, that's got to be a slam dunk, you know. So now we've got it going, and it's going really well. We just saw some great little footage of Bobby Martinez riding some small waves and really going fast and working well. The board was really working well for him. And so the basic idea in terms of the Bonzer is it has V and double concave and V through the tail, which was very conducive to the way the original Biscuit was set up. And so basically what happens with the Bonzer fin system is when you're turning, water comes diagonally across the bottom of the board. So when the water's coming across the bottom of the board with the Bonzer, you have this a lot of base on the fins. You have 9 3/4 inches of base. So when the water is coming back across the board, normally on a thruster or especially even a single fin, you have more water that's escaping off the outside rail, and we considered that to be sort of wasted energy in a sense. So what happens with the Bonzer, with all this base, is that this water gets deflected down and back through the tail. So we'll look at it this way. So when you're turning and you're on the rail, this water's coming through across the bottom of your board diagonally. It gets deflected down and back through the tail, which really adds a lot of speed and forward, for lack of a better term. It gives you a lot of thrust and drive and speed out of the turn. And the inside rail, when you're turning, the fins are much more canted out on the Bonzer than a normal fin. So when you're turning your inside fins are fairly vertical in the water, which gives you a lot of really nice refined edge control. And then also with the added base, it really helps, especially on shortboards, to give you a lot of drive, and especially holding speed through the cutbacks all the way through and back up off the soup, you know, when you're banking off the soup and so forth. So it's a lot of continued speed and momentum through maneuvers. And so that's, you know, that's generally the, you know, sort of the basic premise. The fins work in conjunction with the concave. In a sense, the fins are sort of an extension of the double concave. And again, that's water adheres to curved surfaces, so when you have the concave, the double concave, it actually it really helps for keeping a really smooth flow of water going through the tail area. And so generally that's sort of the basic idea. And again, it's very, very conducive to this board, especially because of its little bit, you know, it has it's a very short board, lower rocker, but it's got originally had some nice V in the tail, which works great for rail-to-rail transition. That's the other thing. The other thing with the Bonzer is, because these fins are fairly shallow, well, they are shallow, and because of their angle, the board transitions rail to rail very easily, back and forth. And so it's great for having a short board that you can go really fast and be super maneuverable and still have a lot of drive and do rail surfing, so you don't really have to stay. A lot of short boards that are designed today that you'll see on the market, they're very flat, but they tend to end up surfing flat. So with this, you get the combination of the speed with the low rocker of the Biscuit, but with the V and the Bonzer system, you get really good rail-to-rail transition. So that's kind of basically it.
That's unreal. Thank you, Malcolm. Campbell Brothers, Channel Islands together. Super stoked, super honored to be working with you guys. You guys as craftsmen and just as people have such integrity, and we respect you guys so much. So thanks for partnering.
Yeah, well, it goes back at it. Like I say, I've had, you know, a long history with CI, and it's great to be back working together, and we wouldn't be doing this with anybody else, that's for sure.
Thanks, man. You guys pick up a Bonzer Biscuit Bonzer. This one belongs to Tom Kern, so you can't have this one, but get your own.